Hey, it's Lee for On Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm here with an NXT review for May 16th, 2018. We start the show with Johnny Gargano's music hitting, but instead of Gargano, it's Ciampa who comes out. Ciampa basically says that he's broken Johnny from... he started with his heart, but now he's working his way up, and he's hurting his body. Says he's always going to win the war, so he says he might have lost a battle, but he's going to win the war. Candice LeRae comes out to a Candice wrestling chant. She says that she doesn't recognize Tommaso. She tells her, he tells her that she should cry. And she says she's done crying about this. Calls him a monster. Says that while Johnny's future is uncertain, Tommaso Ciampa will always know that Johnny was better than him. Then Tommaso says that he doesn't understand how she can stand Gargano. He's a boy. Tommaso Ciampa says he's a man. And he also says that while living with him, he realized that Candice LeRae was more of a man than Gargano. And then he also says he's about to insult Gargano. He's about to say something about what he was thinking at their wedding. And just as he's about to say it, Candice LeRae slaps him in the face. And Ciampa just kind of rolls out of the ring and stops there. This just solidifies Ciampa as the best bad guy in wrestling right now. He's just so hateable, and he's good at it. Delivery is always perfect. This is good stuff. The next thing we have is a women's match. It's between Brandi Lauren and Lacey Evans. Lauren is super young. She used to be called Ava Story in Impact Wrestling. I know she's been in other promotions as well. She's still young in the wrestling business. You really don't get to see much of her in this match in terms of what she can do, because it's pretty much a squash match. So we get a handstand into a Bronco Buster by Evans. She does her slingshot elbow from the outside, which always looks kind of cool. She does a second rope moonsault after mocking Kairi Sane by doing the whole kind of peering thing where she does the thing. Again, I don't know what that's called. Then she hits the women's right for the win. The women's right is just basically a straight up punch. But it's a great name for a finishing move, so I'll allow it. And then on her way out of the ring, or out of the arena, I should say, Evans is attacked by Kairi Sane. Sane goes for the insane elbow in the ring, but Evans kind of rolls out and walks away. Yeah, that was alright. Just furthers that storyline a little bit. You need Sane to be doing something because they didn't do much with her so far. So if Evans is the opponent, so be it. Let her beat a couple people and make her a valid opponent. Then we have an Aleister Black interview/walking promo thing on the outdoors. He's asked about Velveteen Dream or Ricochet, who would like to fight him. He says that he understands that being the champion, he's going to have a target on his back. He says, but those guys need to understand one thing, is that when they're in a match with him, they're the ones who are the target. Fine. That's okay. It was like a short promo. It established him. It maintains his badassery. Badassedness. Badass status. We're going to go with status. Okay. Then Dakota Kai is having a press conference. I don't know why the press is so intrigued by Dakota Kai, but they are. She's asked about Nikki Cross. She says that Nikki's crazy, and she doesn't quite know what her end game is. She's asked what she's working on, and she just gives some kind of weird softball answer about, training and endurance or something like that. Then Nikki jumps in and asks her what she's going to when she's going to take on Shayna Baszler, and when Kai is non-committal. Nikki says that she needs to face her fears, use that fear. She just makes it really uncomfortable for Kai. This was good. It's like Cross is really quite good at what she's doing right now. She's good at being crazy. The Sanity people are gone, theoretically. You still haven't seen them on the main roster, but they're supposed to be there. So she needs to do something, and if it's this kind of side story with Kai, so be it. Kai is a decent actress. She can sell fear pretty well, so I'm okay with this. Then we get a match that I thought would be the match of the night, which was Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet. Dream at one point has a armbar on Ricochet, and he does a kind of pelvic hip thrust rotation thing, kind of like Rick Rude used to do. And then Ricochet basically responds in kind. to basically mock Velveteen Dream. The opening is quite technical to this. They're kind of emphasizing the fact that Ricochet just doesn't bounce on the ropes. He can do anything. Ricochet at one point lands a corner springboard dropkick, kind of like Jericho usually hits. Then Ricochet does some tumbling, and Dream does a little bit of his crawling move, and they end up in a weird little stare down. It's cool. At one point, Ricochet and Dream collide fairly close to the corner. And then we start hearing some audible boos, so you know something's happening in the crowd or something like that. And then Lars Sullivan comes into the ring. He throws Ricochet away. He pop-up power slams Velveteen Dream. He freak accidents both of them, and the match is declared a no contest. So that's probably fine. This is TV, and that match should theoretically, in my opinion, if you're putting Velveteen Dream and Ricochet in a match, just throw that on a takeover. That should be awesome. Then we get a match between Raul Mendoza and Kona Reeves, the finest. I'm not sure Kona Reeves is catching on much, but so be it. I never thought he would. It's his third or fourth gimmick so far in like a year and a half, but he's trying. He's showing a lot of aggressiveness, which is cool, good, and he's using kind of old school moves for the most part, and I kind of like that. At one point, he does a falling back elbow from the second rope onto a downed Mendoza. I thought that actually looked kind of cool. I've been liking the kind of dead poses. The splash where the guy just leaves his arms to the side and just kind of falls on a person. I enjoy those kinds of moves lately for some reason. At one point, Mendoza does get a little bit of offense in with a couple enziguris, but then he goes for a springboard move, and Reeves hits him with a big boot off of that. It looked good. And then he hits his Hawaiian drop for the win, the Hawaiian drop being a Samoan drop where you drop the person on their face rather than on their back. Kathy Kelly is near Regal's office. She runs over to it and finds Ricochet there, trying to get in. Velveteen Dream shows up while she's trying to interview Ricochet. Ricochet had said that he wanted to face Sullivan. Then Dream says that they have something in common, I guess, and they both go into Regal's office. Then we have Heavy Machinery cutting a phone promo talking about Mother's Day steaks. TM61 come in, and I think they might have told them, hey, let's go for beers or something like that. I don't know. Heavy Machinery say they don't hang out with cheaters. TM61 do a fat joke about Heavy Machinery. And then Dosovich challenges TM61 to a match next week. I thought this was funny. He goes, next week, anytime, anywhere. Well, it's not really anytime if you told him next week. The match is next week if it's next week. But it is anywhere, I suppose. Though I'm guessing it's going to be in the Performance Center, Arena, Full Sail, whatever it's called. I just thought it was funny. That's fine. Whatever. Setting up a feud. I do like TM61 being heels. You need to freshen them up because they came back from injury, and I thought, hey, just push them to the max coming back from that. Make them win the Dusty Rose Classic or something like that, and they made them lose in the first round to a team that wasn't even going to be around for a while, so it was very strange. This is good. Then we get a match between Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole. They're facing Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch, who are recently kind of joined together. O'Reilly and Cole control a lot of the beginning of the match against Burch. The match picks up when Dunne takes on Strong. At one point, they all do the finger snapping kind of move. So basically, three of them at the same time hitting the Undisputed Era with that. There's a really good hot tag to Lorcan. Lorcan shows really good fire. European uppercut. Then he eventually dives to the outside and hits two of the Undisputed Era members. It was really good. A little bit later on, Lorcan is actually thrown into Dunne to the outside of the ring, which kind of gives the advantage to the Undisputed Era. Eventually, it kind of balances itself out, and we have a triple submission attempt by Burch, Lorcan, and Dunne. It's broken up in a domino way, so basically one person kicks someone into another team, which sends that into the other team or a combination of people that are doing submissions. It was fine. Then we have a Cole hits a neck breaker on Dunne, who was suplexing him to the outside, so it's a neck breaker over the top rope. So those two are kind of eliminated from the equation, and we get Roderick Strong and O'Reilly versus Lorcan and Birch. O'Reilly accidentally hits Strong, which eventually allows Birch and Lorcan to land I guess it's a wheelbarrow DDT on O'Reilly. They really plant it, and they actually get the win in this match. So it felt, if you were watching it, it felt like it was going to be an Undisputed Era win. So it was nice to see a little switch up on what you would expect. This was a very full episode of NXT. I don't know if I loved it, but I liked a lot of it. Like some of these matches, if you had isolated them on any other show, would have headlined, well, at least Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. That should have been the closing match on most nights, but they were going for a special finish in that case, so it makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.5. NXT always kind of delivers. The in-ring was very good. The outside of the ring stuff, I like the Dakota Kai stuff. I like it. I don't know. So we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching.